All right, so we are in Unit 7, Learning Objective 7. Learning Objective 7 is to describe the effect of dilution on the total number of moles of solute in a solution. If you add water to the solution, you dilute that solution. Now, what happens to the number of moles? The number of moles of solute stays constant as water is added. Now, but how does this affect other things? Your volume of water. So the volume of the solution increases as we add water. So the concentration of the solution decreases. So this is molarity, molality per percent per mass, whatever your concentration is in. Your concentration of the solution decreases as water is added. Because again, concentration is usually your moles or your mass divided by your volume or your mass of the solution. So when you are when this stays constant, it's not moving, you're not adding anything to it. All you're adding is water, which is increasing your volume. That's going to decrease your concentration. This guy stays the same. He doesn't change. Okay. So that was learning objective 7. Describe the effect of dilution on the total number of moles of solute in the solution. So we are in unit 7. This is learning objective 8. We're going to use the dilution formula to calculate the concentration or volume of an unknown solution. So essentially, again, from the last learning objective, you should know that as you increase your water, your volume is increasing, which decreases your concentration, but your number of moles remains constant. It does not change. So we're going to use the dilution formula to calculate the concentration or volume of an unknown solution. So your dilution formula is on the back of your periodic table, and you can see this here. Here is your dilution formula. So dilution formula is M1V1 equals M2V2. This is molarity 1 times your volume 1 times your molarity 2 times your volume 2. Now, this can be any concentration. It doesn't matter if it's molarity or something different. You can use this in any concentration that you have, essentially. But normally it's used with molarity. M1 V1 is equal to M2 V2, where M is equal to molarity or concentration, and V is equal to the volume. So 1 is the initial, 2 is the final. So there you go. Remember, multiply two quantities that go together and divide by the odd quantity. I can't tell you this enough. If you have a volume and a concentration, you multiply those together always, because your volume times your concentration is going to give you your number of moles of whatever you're in. So multiply by two quantities that go together, divide by the odd quantity. If you've got a volume, add a concentration, multiply those two together. Okay, so let's look at an example. I'm going to do this example for you. So let's look at an example. So if you had 25 milliliters of water, if you put 25 milliliters of water, if you put 25 milliliters of water into 150 milliliters of a 0.5 molar sodium hydroxide solution, what is the new concentration of the solution? So again, remember, moles are not changing in this. We're not changing the number of moles at all. We have the number of moles of sodium hydroxide in the solution. We're not changing that. Now, I've been given that I'm adding 25 milliliters of water, and I've got a 150 milliliter solution, and I've got a 0.5 0 molar NaOH solution. And my unknown thing is my new concentration. So my M2, what is that? Okay. So in this one, you've got a couple of things that you've got to do. Most of your dilution formulas are you're just multiplying your volume times your concentration, and then you're going to divide by your other volume. In this case, we do not have the volume of the second solution. So my step one is to find the volume of the solution. So all you have to do here is you have to take 150.0 milliliters of my solution, and I'm adding 25 milliliters of water to it. So I just add those two together and I get 175 milliliters of solution. So this is going to be my V2, okay? So this is my V1, this is my M1, and I'm just looking for M2. Your second step in this type of problem is just to plug it into your formula. So I have M1 V1 equals M2 V2. Well, if I box in like your gas laws, you're going to divide by V2. So then M2 is equal to M1 times V1 over M2 V2 over V2 over V2. And that's equal to, again, if you've got this right here, you multiply and then you divide by the odd thing that's out. Okay, so I've got 150 milliliters times 0.5 molar divided by 175 milliliters. Milliliters are canceling out. Again, I don't have to convert into liters in this, so milliliters are canceling. So then my calculator, 150 times 0.5 divided by 175. That gives me 0.43 molar NaOH. Again, sig figs, I have 4 sig figs for this guy, 3 sig figs for this guy, and 2 sig figs. So 2 sig figs wins out. So we are at 0.43 molar NaOH. Okay. So this was learning objective 8, which was use the dilution formula to calculate the concentration or volume of an unknown solution. This is probably the most important formula in chemistry.